Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So I'm starting by shuffling the emotions deck, and I'm going to go ahead and pull a few cards from this deck to get us started today. So what do those listening to this reading need to know most at this time? What is the dominant emotional energy coming through? Right away, we do have the gratitude card. By the way, happy summer solstice to all of you here listening. I'm feeling like there is a really powerful transitional kind of energy that's been building for a while, but seems to be reaching a peak around this summer solstice. And for some reason, as I was meditating, preparing for this reading, my guides were showing me the imagery rather, of someone moving into a larger space that can hold a greater amount of their energy, of their light. I know this is kind of symbolically speaking here, but for some of you, you might literally be moving to a different physical environment or location. For others of you, you may be expanding into a different career. Whatever the case is, whether it's in relationships, life, career, I'm really feeling as though it's almost like you're being forcibly expanded. And when I say forcibly, of course, that word has a negative connotation, but what I really mean is your expansion is inevitable. You are transitioning into these bigger spaces, places, connections, possibly even communities, platonic connections that are capable of growing with you, that can hold you where you are now. It's almost the energy of having outgrown things from your past, possibly people, connections, jobs, situations. And I'm hearing growing pains. So for some of you listening, these growing pains spiritually and emotionally might be very uncomfortable because those times of transition bring with them a lot of inherent uncertainty and unpredictability. And I'm hearing present moment surrender and trust. That's really been the theme of your life lately. Whoever I'm speaking to here, it is continuing to make the best choice, decision, next step from wherever you are standing in the present moment. Because I do feel that there may be the tendency at this time for these futuristic anxieties to insert themselves into your present moment reality and dilute your energy. And I just keep hearing the word trust over and over again. Trust where you are, trust where you're being led, trust that when it's time for you to take an action or make a movement, you will be intuitively guided to it through the present moment, that there's no need to figure things out in advance, so to speak. Now, I'm picking up very strongly on the energy of possibly someone that may be connected to you. So this could be a romantic situation, someone from your past, whoever this is. And I feel this message won't be for everyone, but someone here is being motivated to radically change themselves. But what is motivating them is their own regret, with the regret card in the reverse position. There's almost like this breaking point kind of moment, like this person's soul is saying, okay, are we going to sit here in this regret and kind of just wallow in it? Or are we going to step into courage? Are we going to allow these past regrets or feelings of loss to motivate us to positive change. Now, some of you might actually be feeling this internally as well, because all of these messages that come through are just energies. So they can apply to your internal world, to your external world, to someone else that's connected to you. But I'm just strongly seeing the energy of regret is pushing someone to a breaking point where they're really being asked, okay, are we going to sit in this feeling of regret and allow it to engulf us? Or are we going to take that energy and powerfully harness it into positive transformation? And I see all of that really coming to an emotional peak right around the 20th and 21st of June for those of you who are tuned into this reading on those days. Now, of course, all of these readings are timeless, so always take the messages how and if they connect for you personally. I'm seeing that this energy has been particularly ramping up since the new moon in Gemini on June 18th. It's as though that really initiated this energy, and now it's been building to this pinnacle on the summer solstice. And I'm really feeling, because as you can tell, I'm having some throat chakra sensations. This often speaks to me that someone is almost clearing their throat to communicate. Here we have I remember, soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. So it might be coming to someone's attention that their life is really breaking with the norm here in some way. Someone here is following the soul plan of their life and may even feel at odds with the people around them. Now, again, this could be you, this could be this person that you're connected to. But someone is being asked to really step up and have courage. And this is no easy task, because I almost get the sense that whoever I'm tuned into here, whether this is you or someone you're connected to, it seems as though those external pressures are extremely intense. Those external influences that may be trying to lower this person's vibration or to send them back into old patterns or spirals or places that they've actually already expanded out of, that they've already outgrown. And I'm hearing like, are you going to allow yourself to be called into past patterns, or are you going to forge forward and create that entirely new reality that you, as the alchemist, as the creator of your life, are constructing? Are you going to allow yourself to step into your true limitless nature, or to be artificially restricted by these external influences, opinions, or ideas about you or how you should live your life? Now, again, I keep picking up that, and I keep reiterating this, but it's because it's coming through so strongly that this could be something that you are experiencing in your own life, or this could be a counterpart soul, particularly for those of you who are twin flames, because I keep seeing this like mirroring of the energy. So for some of you listening, you, for example, may connect here as the divine feminine or the divine masculine, and you may feel this sense of reflecting on the past, possibly even feeling some sadness come up, possibly some regrets from the past, specifically the divine masculine. I'm feeling that very heavily from the masculine. You could be allowing that to push you into soul-based courage, to take action towards the future that you are creating, to throw off the external influences of other people. But if you are a twin flame specifically, or if there is a very high level soul connection in your life where there's a lot of energy exchange, I'm seeing that the person you're connected to is actually mirroring your energy, but in a different way. So for example, some of you could be feeling this push into courage when it comes to aligning with your soul purpose in a more conscious way, whereas the person you're connected to could be pushed into courage to make some kind of inner change or transformation and step towards you in a more confident, courageous, powerful way, releasing the need to meet the expectations to look a certain way on the surface. I'm specifically picking up that if you are someone on a twin flame path, there may be a divine masculine here who has been staying in some kind of lower vibrational holding pattern, karmic relationship, karmic situation, karmic behavioral pattern, because they've been afraid of what other people would think, what those external influences would think. I'm hearing how they might be judged if they were to go in a different direction. But I'm seeing that their soul, especially around the summer solstice, is really pushing them into a kind of courage that leads to profound transformation. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card from the Moonology deck. So what else do those listening to this reading need to know at this time? And right as I said, powerful changes were in the making here. We actually pulled the card, expect powerful change. But the irony of this card is that in the Moonology deck, it's actually a new moon eclipse card. So it's almost like a new beginning happening in the dark, happening through a kind of void. So what I see here is that someone is undergoing a very powerful change, but it's happening through a time that might actually appear to be a void. Although this is a new beginning, this time also might feel very dark, very confusing to the person that I'm tuned into here. So let's see what I can pull about this from the traditional tarot deck. So what is going on here with this expect powerful change card? What powerful changes are taking place here? Okay, we have the Hanged Man reversed. And I'm really feeling guided to the affirmation on this card, which says, it's time for a sacred pause. Stillness grants perspective. So someone here might actually be feeling themselves in some kind of period of pause in their life. Now, if this is speaking to a twin flame connection or a divine counterpart situation, this so-called sacred pause could also be what we refer to as some kind of a physical 3D separation, whether that's emotionally, physically, just some kind of disconnect between the two souls. But what I'm also seeing from this card, by the way, the number 1212 is connecting with this as well. Someone who has been feeling very limited, but almost as though they're limiting themselves and feeling trapped in some of these self-limitations. But that kind of entrapped energy is pushing them to break free of some kind of karmic pattern or cycle and come forward with some type of communication, or to change the way that they communicate with justice in the reverse position. So I'm really getting a lot of masculine energy from this card. So this could be a divine masculine who is going through some time of feeling really trapped in something, feeling confined, but that is pushing them to break free of a karmic pattern or cycle that's actually held them back from coming towards a divine feminine with some kind of communication. Now, I also see with the affirmation, I get what I give, that this is pushing a divine masculine to be more balanced in the way that they exchange with this particular divine feminine. So in the past, things may have felt very unbalanced emotionally, mentally, communication-wise, where the divine feminine may have been over-giving or self-sacrificing, and the divine masculine in a wounded state here may have been overly taking, or kind of taking without giving in a balanced way. And I see that that equation is being balanced out within them, that they are realizing, again, this affirmation, I get what I give, that there needs to be a balance, energetically speaking, between the two, between the giving and the receiving energy. And here, the receiving energy is coming up as the divine feminine polarity, and the masculine is traditionally considered the giving energy. And so I see that whole dynamic kind of being reframed, rebalanced here between the two counterparts. Again, specifically, if this is a twin flame situation, that kind of twin flame energy does keep coming up here, although that may not be resonant for everyone who's listening. So only take that if it does connect with you. But in the extended version of the reading, I will be channeling more into the powerful change taking place within this connection, within both the divine masculine and the divine feminine involved here. I will also be channeling into how these changes might show up or look in different scenarios in the manifested physical world, whether that's some movement forward, action, or communication. So we'll be reading into the potentialities there. If you do feel guided to join me in the extended reading on Patreon, I will be leaving a link to that in the pinned comment and description box under the video. But for now, I am going to head over to the Energy Oracle cards deck and see whatever messages want to come through from this deck for our collective here. Okay, so what do those listening to the reading need to know at this time? Okay, things may have been feeling a bit disorienting or a bit ungrounded recently with the root chakra reversed. Can I get more on this so-called ungrounded energy? Journey in the reverse position. I'm hearing that someone I'm connecting with here might be trying to stabilize something that has been really difficult to ground into the physical 3D world. And of course, we have adjacent possibilities reversed, the yin yang card upright, which is my number one twin flame card, the thinking man reversed, community reversed, and blossoming abundance reversed. I just kept feeling this trail of energy flowing from the bottom of the deck there. So this ungrounded energy seems to be a result of someone trying to stabilize something in the physical 3D world. This could be a dream, a vision. This may be a relationship or a connection that just hasn't seemed to want to ground itself. And I've spoken on this in my recent Instagram reel. If you do want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me there at Magnetize Yourself. But with adjacent possibilities reversed, I almost see like whoever I'm speaking to, for lack of a better way to describe it, it's almost like you're floating between timelines. I called this in one of my recent reels, like walking in a dark hallway to a magnificent room. And that dark hallway represents that timeline shift taking place. And that room you're stepping into represents a higher vibrational timeline. So I see someone here really very much being in that in-between phase. And again, I really feel that with this higher timeline, it has to do with being a space that is bigger, either literally, this could be moving into a bigger living space, getting out into nature more, where you're in these wide open spaces, or being in a connection that is either more harmonized or of a different nature, that's more expansive, that can hold more of your true self, all of your emotions, all of your thoughts and feelings. I know this is kind of a strange way to describe it, but it's as though whatever you're shifting into has the ability to expand with you, to grow with you. And I see that being this timeline that you're locking in, having more of those facets and aspects that will support you continuing to move forward. Again, it's like this emotionally uncomfortable feeling you've been going through of having really outgrown certain aspects of your physical 3D life, whether it's certain relationships, connections, friendships, social groups, and now being in this in-between phase where you're moving towards this expanded version of all of that. Now, for some of you, you may already have reached and started locking in that higher timeline. You might be in that magnificent room we've been describing. For others of you, you might still kind of feel as though you're in that dark hallway, getting kind of glimpses of the timeline that's at the end of the hallway, but not quite feeling like you're fully grounding it in or fully locking it in yet. And I'm getting that that will be the case for a majority of people listening. And I'm just hearing such a strong message from your guides. Keep walking. Trust those glimpses that you're receiving. I'm feeling that someone might be getting these glimpses even when they're meditating or daydreaming. You may get flashes of visions for how your life could look on this new timeline, some dream you may be able to achieve, some connection that may be coming in or harmonizing itself. And you might wonder, can I trust those really good feeling glimpses of this vision? And I'm hearing this resounding yes, like trust those glimpses you are getting into this future timeline that you're actually on your way to, that you're walking into. Now, of course, with the yin yang card sitting on the throat chakra, the seat of communication, this says to me that for many of you listening, you may be on a twin flame path, regardless of whether the person you consider to be your physically incarnated twin flame is physically in quote unquote union or connection with you or not. There is a really energetic spiritual bond here. And I see that the communication aspect I'm hearing is clearing, is aligning itself as a result of this deeper rebalancing of energy between the two of you. Again, just for whoever I'm speaking to here. So you can apply this in different ways, but for some of you, this may be some kind of truth coming in from someone who you can tell has been holding back. So for example, you may have been connecting with someone and it's almost as though you're skirting around what needs to be said or skirting around the truth. And it's like this person, through this rebalancing of energy, is able to clear their throat, either literally or symbolically, and come forward with the truth. And when this truth reaches you, it really resonates in a deep way because your soul can sense the alignment of that truth. It senses the energy of that truth. Because I am getting that for some of you, part of why communication may have been off or a little bit disconnected is because someone here may have been afraid to speak their truth. They may have been holding back. Particularly, I'm getting that this may have been on both sides. For the divine masculine here, this holding back of the truth may have been holding back sharing the messier aspects of his life, more of those fears that were surfacing as he's going through this awakening that is profoundly altering the physical landscape of his life, but still possibly trying to make things look really perfect on the surface to other people, really tied up with a bow on the surface. And I feel that a conversation might be had where a divine masculine comes forward and shares some of those deeper fears or anxieties around how quickly his life is changing, around how ungrounded he's felt recently through this awakening. And these may have been things that he had been holding back from the divine feminine. And for a divine feminine listening, you may have really sensed this truth, but not been able to place it exactly, like not even been sure if you could really trust it. Now, for others of you, this so-called truth coming forward may actually be the divine masculine sharing deeper feelings that they may not have let on, that they've been holding on to. I'm hearing keeping it close to their chest. So they might have been keeping these feelings. I'm hearing this confession of feelings or deeper feelings close to their chest, as in 3D, they may have been pretending as though those feelings were more shallow, more light, more superficial. I'm hearing moment of truth. So there may be something very specific that happens or something that clicks in the masculine's mind for those of you in this particular scenario that suddenly causes them to want to come forward and share the truth of these deeper feelings. Now, take all of that as that does connect with you. I'm feeling on the divine feminine side of things, this aligning of energy leading to this opening of truth through the throat chakra may actually be connecting with what you need and desire in physical 3D relationship. So you may be really clearing and balancing your own energy so that you're capable of really sensing into what it is you desire to manifest, to create, to attract in your relationships, specifically your romantic relationships. And you may be learning how to communicate your need for that balanced support, for those actions in a way that is clear and a way that is aligned with how you're really feeling beneath the surface. Because I do see that in the past, many divine feminines I'm picking up on here may have actually sacrificed their own communication of what they needed or what they desired, particularly when it comes to love connections. And I'm seeing that energy of truth, that clearing and activating of the throat chakra, really pushing the divine feminine to hold those standards and to communicate those standards and boundaries, those needs and desires to whoever you are connecting with, whether it's platonic or romantic. And with the thinking man reversed and community in the reverse position, as well as blossoming abundance reversed, I see that at this time, collectively, with the third eye chakra as well, and the solar plexus chakra reversed, someone is really listening to their intuition, but feeling at the same time some fears or doubts surfacing, feeling at times their confidence in themselves wavering a little bit as they're being led forward by this powerful intuitive sense. For some reason, I got the imagery of bats using echolocation to understand where they are in the physical world, even when it's dark out. Bats might be significant to someone in some way, but really what I'm getting through this comparison is that you are using your highly intuitive technology, a spiritual technology within yourself, to essentially scope out where you are in relation to what you desire, what you're moving towards. You're navigating using that spiritual technology, which is really, in simple terms, your intuition. But it's requiring you to really push through some of those feelings of uncertainty or self-doubt, some of that wavering that I see represented by the solar plexus chakra card reversed. The reason that you're feeling this wavering at this time, if this is for you, and again, this won't be for everyone, but if you are feeling this, it is because of that major timeline shift taking place, because you're actually locking in a new expanded version of everything in your life and of your reality that has the capacity to hold what you've energetically already expanded into. But this path is most likely feeling very lonely and a bit uncertain, and yet simultaneously very empowering. It's like this very strange mix of emotions, but I'm sure if you are connecting with this, you are familiar with this mix of emotions, that combination of feeling deeply activated to your true power, knowing at an intuitive level that you are right on track, and yet simultaneously feeling these fears and doubts surface at times from your human physical self that might want to be able to know all of the answers ahead of time. And the most powerful message I'm hearing from your guides, if that is connecting with you, is the goddess of the moon and the temple path upright. Whenever I see these cards together, I take it as meaning that a powerful empowerment is happening for the divine feminine at this time, but also that with the temple path card, you are very much aligned with your higher timeline that you're expanding into. I wanted to say you're on the right path, but of course, from a different perspective, there is no wrong or right per se. But I do see that you are really aligning with these higher timeline potentials through this shift into empowerment that is taking place in your energetic field. With action reversed, I'm also seeing that some divine feminines here might feel a little bit at a standstill, almost as though you're not sure how to move forward or when to move forward into some kind of specific action. You're just feeling the vision, but of course, simultaneously at times feeling some of those self-doubts come up. And what I'm hearing from someone's guides is that whenever you're feeling uncertain about the next action step to take, that is the time to allow the activation energetically, spiritually. That is the time to trust that your intuition will give you the next so-called action step when it's aligned in front of you, and that your main focus, your main job is that energy alignment work that you're doing within yourself. That is what is creating this new beginning represented by this Sun card ahead of you. I do see many, many very positive cards coming out on your energetic field, particularly if you are resonating more with your divine feminine polarity at this time. I'm getting the sense that someone may have come to this reading feeling some anxieties about their present life reality, and yet simultaneously having this powerful vision and feeling this empowerment to achieve that vision. And this specific person may have been wondering, am I going the right direction? Is the floor going to fall through on this? Can I trust that I'm moving towards this vision? And if that is you, I feel the need to relay the message from your guides that you are very much on the right track here, that you are stepping into this sun energy, this beautiful, bright, magnificent next phase of your life, and that you can trust that, even if there has been a little bit of ungrounded energy coming up around you recently. I feel that parts of this reading have been very, very specific to certain groups of people. So I really hope that if this message was for you, it reached you and connected with you in a meaningful way. In the extended version of the reading on Patreon, we will be channeling into more details here. Whatever wants to come through from that extended reading, of course, based on the frequency that those of you who join me there do bring to the reading. We are all co-manifestors and co-creators, both here and on Patreon as well. So in addition to those details, I will be channeling more messages specifically from the spirit guides or higher self of the divine feminine here. So if you would like to join me in that extended reading, the link to that is in the pinned comment and description box under this video. I will be closing the reading with one final Rumi Oracle card. So what is the most important message to close out this reading? This card has actually been coming out a lot recently. This is Sacred Soul Sister. So I'm just going to read a little bit from the guidebook here. When you are conscious, a cloud of sadness surrounds you. When you are beyond consciousness, the moon rests in your arms. When you are conscious, the beloved moves out of your reach. When you are beyond consciousness, the ecstasy of love moves your way. When you are conscious, you are depressed like fall. When you are beyond consciousness, the winter cold feels like spring. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Look for instability until you become stable. Rumi. I love you. I am your other self. I am with you always, your partner on this soul journey. I am the you that you do not see. I am the you that speaks through intuition and instinct. I whisper and sing and shout my crazed truth-telling to you. Through your dreams, through your body. I am the you that is wise, that trusts in life, that knows. I am the you that sees reality rather than appearance. I am the you that knows how to be happy and free. So this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. I will now be heading over to the extended Patreon reading. So of course, the link to that is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. Otherwise, I am sending you all so much love today, wishing you a beautiful remainder of your day and week. And I will connect with you here again in Friday's reading.